The end of time has started. This generation is going to witness the things that none of the previous generations ever saw. It's not fear-mongering. It's not just that most minor signs have been fulfilled before our eyes. It's not just that we are witnessing a total collapse and destruction of Arab lands. It's that something far more dangerous than all these minor signs combined has happened. The devil deities La'at, Manat, and Uzza have returned. Recently, many social media accounts based in Saudi Arabia have started attempting to revive the history of these three idols under the banner of the cultural roots of the Arabian Peninsula. Surprisingly, they didn't get the backlash they deserved. Some uproar did happen here and there, but the idea of reviving the pagan culture of these three demon deities wasn't crushed to the core. Right now, there are reports that secret worship of all of these three demon deities is taking place in the Arabian Peninsula behind closed doors. The Arabs are seeing them as a symbol of femininity and a sign of women's liberation. This exactly is what was prophesied nearly 1,400 years ago by our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that prophecy was nothing less than a scary warning. Aisha reported, "I heard Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam as saying, the system of night and day would not end until the people have taken to the worship of Lat and Uzza. This is what is happening today as we speak. We are returning to the time that was before the re-advent of Islam." As before the rebirth of Islam, Arabia was not entirely godless. People believed in Allah, but they surrounded that belief with hundreds of idols, each assigned a specific purpose. Want prosperity? There's an idol for that. Fertility? Another one. Protection? Pick your stone. But three stood above all others. Three goddesses were worshipped across the entire Arabian Peninsula, each assigned to a major city, Mecca, Medina, and Taif. Their names appear in the Quran itself, in Surah An-Najm. Now, have you considered the idols of Lat and Uzza, and the third one Manat as well? Al-Uzza was considered the chief goddess, the most powerful. During the Battle of Uhud, Quraysh warriors literally called out her name on the battlefield. People swore oaths by these idols, just as we say, "I swear to God today." Parents even named their children after them. These weren't just statues. People were unknowingly worshipping shayateen, demonic entities, through these physical forms. A tribal chief named Amr ibn Luhay returned from Syria carrying an idol called Hubal. He placed it inside the Kaaba and told people, "Worship this to feel closer to your Lord." That was the trick. Not abandon God, but add something physical to help you connect. One generation later, the connection to God was secondary. The idol was everything. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam described seeing Amr ibn Luhay in hell, dragging his own intestines, because he was the first to corrupt the religion of Ismail alayhi salam and introduce idol worship into the Kaaba. By the time of the conquest of Mecca, approximately 360 idols were removed from in and around the Kaaba to show that these deities were not only false, but were actually Satan in idol form. After the conquest, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent Khalid ibn Walid on a mission to destroy the remaining sites of Al-Uzza worship in a place called Nakhla near Taif. Khalid arrived, found people circling trees in worship, and cut them down. He returned. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The mission isn't complete." He was sent back. Again, trees. Cut down. Again, incomplete. Third time, the final tree. But this time, something was waiting. A black woman, disheveled, naked, with wild hair and long nails, throwing dirt on her own head, screaming. She lunged at Khalid. He drew his sword. She was cut down and turned to ash. When he returned and reported this, The Prophet ﷺ confirmed that was Al-Uzza. A similar account exists about Al-Manat. When that site was destroyed, soldiers described an identical figure, black-haired, long nails, beating her chest, covered in dust, emerging before being eliminated. These weren't humans. These were the entities behind the idols, made visible only when their worship was being permanently destroyed. Now we are hearing that many tribes in Arabian Peninsula have resumed what was ended centuries ago, for which our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ risked his life and suffered beyond imagination. The rituals of Jahiliyyah weren't silent prayers. They were festivals, dancing, music, trance-like states, drinking and circling idols. The Quran even mentions people clapping and whistling as acts of worship. All of this is happening today as well, and this is why we are witnessing the return of these three demon deities. The trance of a nightclub, the ritual of a concert, the mass gathering where thousands lose themselves in rhythm and lights. The scholars aren't saying these are identical, but the structure echoes something ancient. And tree worship? It still exists. Communities today tie strings to trees, circle them, and hang offerings. The form has changed. The spiritual mechanics haven't. Even fiction reflects this truth. The horror film, The Unholy, depicts a demonic entity appearing as a holy figure near a tree, performing miracles, healing the sick, and drawing crowds into worship before being exposed and destroyed. This is exactly the main idea behind the return of these three demon deities of Arabia. The Prophet ﷺ said these things would return. The Holy Quran named these entities by name. Khalid ibn Walid saw them with his own eyes and destroyed them. Now we are witnessing their return in real time. We are seeing them being recognized as symbols of fertility and femininity. We are seeing them being regarded as an inseparable part of Arabian culture. And these developments are enough for us all to understand that the end times have certainly arrived. As Muslims, we need to start preparing to face them by holding on to our faith in the strongest manner possible, because belief